Preface. Welcome to Precalculus, an OpenStax resource. This textbook was written to increase student access to high-quality learning materials, maintaining highest standards of academic rigor at little to no cost. About OpenStax. OpenStax is a nonprofit based at Rice University, and it's our mission to improve student access to education. Our first openly licensed college textbook was published in 2012, and our library has since scaled to over 25 books for college and AP courses used by hundreds of thousands of students. Our adaptive learning technology, designed to improve learning outcomes through personalized educational paths, is being piloted in college courses throughout the country. Through our partnerships with philanthropic foundations and our alliance with other educational resource organizations, OpenStax is breaking down the most common barriers to learning and empowering students and instructors to succeed. About OpenStax's resources. Customization. OpenStax is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International (CC BY) license, which means that you can distribute, remix, and build upon the content, as long as you provide attribution to OpenStax and its content contributors. Because our books are openly licensed, you are free to use the entire book or pick and choose the sections that are most relevant to the needs of your course. Feel free to remix the content by assigning your students certain chapters and sections in your syllabus, in the order that you prefer. You can even provide a direct link in your syllabus to the sections in the web view of your book. Faculty also have the option of creating a customized version of their OpenStax book through the AirSelect platform. The custom version can be made available to students in low-cost print or digital form through their campus bookstore. Visit your book page on openstax.org for a link to your book on AirSelect. Errata. All OpenStax textbooks undergo a rigorous review process. However, like any professional-grade textbook, errors sometimes occur. Since our books are web-based, we can make updates periodically when deemed pedagogically necessary. If you have a correction to suggest, submit it through the link on your book page on openstax.org. Subject matter experts review all errata suggestions. OpenStax is committed to remaining transparent about all updates, so you will also find a list of past errata changes on your book page on openstax.org. Format. You can access this textbook for free in WebView or PDF through openstax.org, and for a low cost in print. About Precalculus. Precalculus is adaptable and designed to fit the needs of a variety of precalculus courses. It is a comprehensive text that covers more ground than a typical 1 or 2 semester college-level precalculus course. The content is organized by clearly defined learning objectives, and includes worked examples that demonstrate problem-solving approaches in an accessible way. Coverage and scope. Precalculus contains 12 chapters, roughly divided into 3 groups. Chapters 1 to 4 discuss various types of functions, providing a foundation for the remainder of the course. Chapter 1. Functions. Chapter 2. Linear functions. Chapter 3. Polynomial and rational functions. Chapter 4. Exponential and logarithmic functions. Chapters 5 to 8 focus on trigonometry. In Precalculus, we approach trigonometry by first introducing angles and the unit circle, as opposed to the right triangle approach more commonly used in college algebra and trigonometry courses. Chapter 5. Trigonometric functions. Chapter 6. Periodic functions. Chapter 7. Trigonometric identities and equations. Chapter 8. Further applications of trigonometry. Chapters 9 to 12 present some advanced precalculus topics that build on topics introduced in chapters 1 to 8. Most precalculus syllabi include some of the topics in these chapters, but few include all. Instructors can select material as needed from this group of chapters, since they are not cumulative. Chapter 9. Systems of equations and inequalities. Chapter 10. Analytic geometry. Chapter 11. Sequences, probability and counting theory. Chapter 12. Introduction to calculus. All chapters are broken down into multiple sections, the titles of which can be viewed in the table of contents. Development overview. Precalculus is the product of a collaborative effort by a group of dedicated authors, editors, and instructors whose collective passion for this project has resulted in a text that is remarkably unified in purpose and voice. Special thanks is due to our lead author, J. Abramson of Arizona State University, who provided the overall vision for the book and oversaw the development of each and every chapter, drawing up the initial blueprint, reading numerous drafts, and assimilating field reviews into actionable revision plans for our authors and editors. The first 8 chapters are built on the foundation of Precalculus, an investigation of functions by David Lipman and Melanie Rasmussen. Chapters 9 to 12 were written and developed by our expert and highly experienced author team. All 12 chapters follow a new and innovative instructional design, and great care has been taken to maintain a consistent voice from cover to cover. New features have been introduced to flesh out the instruction, all of the graphics have been redone in a more contemporary style, and much of the content has been revised, replaced, or supplemented to bring the text more in line with mainstream approaches to teaching Precalculus. Accuracy of the content. We have taken great pains to ensure the validity and accuracy of this text. Each chapter's manuscript underwent at least 2 rounds of review and revision by a panel of active Precalculus instructors. Then, prior to publication, a separate team of experts checked all text, examples, and graphics for mathematical accuracy. Multiple reviewers were assigned to each chapter to minimize the chances of any error escaping notice. A third team of experts was responsible for the accuracy of the answer key, dutifully reworking every solution to eradicate any lingering errors. Finally, the editorial team conducted a multi-round post-production review to ensure the integrity of the content in its final form was written and developed after the student edition, has also been rigorously checked for accuracy following a process similar to that described above. Incidentally, the act of writing out solutions step by step served as yet another round of validation for the answer key in the back of the student edition. Pedagogical foundations and features. Learning objectives. Each chapter is divided into multiple sections, or modules, each of which is organized around a set of learning objectives. The learning objectives are listed explicitly at the beginning of each section and are the focal point of every instructional element. Narrative text. Narrative text is used to introduce key concepts, terms, and definitions, to provide real-world context, and to provide transitions between topics and examples. Throughout this book, we rely on a few basic conventions to highlight the most important ideas. 1. Key terms are bold-faced, typically when first introduced and/or when formally defined. 2. Key concepts and definitions are called out in a blue box for easy reference. Example. Each learning objective is supported by one or more worked examples that demonstrate the problem-solving approaches that students must master. Typically, we include multiple examples for each learning objective in order to model different approaches to the same type of problem, or to introduce similar problems of increasing complexity. All told, there are more than 650 examples, or an average of about 55 per chapter. All examples follow a simple 2- or 3-part format. First, we pose a problem or question. Next, we demonstrate the solution, spelling out the steps along the way. Finally, for select examples, we conclude with an analysis reflecting on the broader implications of the solution just shown. Figures. Precalculus contains more than 2,000 figures and illustrations, the vast majority of which are graphs and diagrams. Art throughout the text adheres to a clear, understated style, drawing the eye to the most important information in each figure while minimizing visual distractions. Color contrast is employed with discretion to distinguish between the different functions or features of a graph. Y equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. Axis of symmetry, vertex, x-intercepts. Major axis, minor axis. F of x equals 5x cubed plus 1. The inverse of f of x equals cube root x minus 1 over 5. Supporting features. 4 small but important features, each marked by a distinctive icon, serve to support examples. A how-to is a list of steps necessary to solve a certain type of problem. A how-to typically precedes an example that proceeds to demonstrate the steps in action. A try-it exercise immediately follows an example or a set of related examples, providing the student with an immediate opportunity to solve a similar problem. In the online version of the text, students can click an answer link directly below the question to check their understanding. In other versions, answers to the triad exercises are located in the answer key. A, Q, and A may appear at any point in the narrative, but most often follows an example. This feature preempts misconceptions by posing a commonly asked yes, no question, followed by a detailed answer and explanation. The media links appear at the conclusion of each section, just prior to the section exercises. These are a list of links to online video tutorials that reinforce the concepts and skills introduced in the section. While we have selected tutorials that closely align to our learning objectives, we did not produce these tutorials, nor were they specifically produced or tailored to accompany Precalculus. Section exercises. Each section of every chapter concludes with a well-rounded set of exercises that can be assigned as homework or used selectively for guided practice. With over 5,900 exercises across the 12 chapters, instructors should have plenty to choose from. Section exercises are organized by question type and generally appear in the following order. 1. Verbal questions assess conceptual understanding of key terms and concepts. 2. Algebraic problems require students to apply algebraic manipulations demonstrated in the section. 3. Graphical problems assess students' ability to interpret or produce a graph. 4. Numeric problems require the student perform calculations or computations. 5. Technology problems encourage exploration through use of a graphing utility, either to visualize or verify algebraic results or to solve problems via an alternative to the methods demonstrated in the section. 6. Extensions pose problems more challenging than the examples demonstrated in the section. They require students to synthesize multiple learning objectives or apply critical thinking to solve complex problems. 7. Real-world applications present realistic problem scenarios from fields such as physics, geology, biology, finance, and the social sciences. Chapter review features. Each chapter concludes with a review of the most important takeaways, as well as additional practice problems that students can use to prepare for exams. 1. Key terms provides a formal definition for each bold-faced term in the chapter. 2. Key equations presents a compilation of formulas, theorems, and standard form equations. 3. Key concepts summarizes the most important ideas introduced in each section, linking back to the relevant examples in case students need to review. 4. Chapter review exercises include 40 to 80 practice problems that recall the most important concepts from each section. 5. Practice test includes 25 to 50 problems assessing the most important learning objectives from the chapter. Note that the practice test is not organized by section, and may be more heavily weighted toward cumulative objectives as opposed to the foundational objectives covered in the opening sections. Additional resources. Student and instructor resources. We've compiled additional resources for both students and instructors, including Getting Started Guides, Instructor Solution Manual, and PowerPoint slides. Instructor resources require a verified instructor account, which can be requested on your OpenStax.org login. Take advantage of these resources to supplement your OpenStax book. Partner resources. OpenStax partners are our allies in the mission to make high-quality learning materials affordable and accessible to students and instructors everywhere. Their tools integrate seamlessly with our OpenStax titles at a low cost. To access the partner resources for your text, visit your book page on OpenStax.org. Online homework. XYZ Homework. XYZ Homework is built using the fastest-growing mathematics cloud platform. XYZ Homework gives instructors access to the Precalculus-aligned problems, organized in the Precalculus course template. Homework instructors have access to thousands of additional algorithmically generated questions for unparalleled course customization. For one low annual price, students can take multiple classes through XYZ Homework. Learn more at www.xyzhomework.com/OpenStax. WebAssign. WebAssign is an independent online homework and assessment solution first launched at North Carolina State University in 1997. Today, WebAssign is an employee-owned benefit corporation and participates in the education of over 1 million students each year. WebAssign empowers faculty to deliver web, fully customizable assignments and high-quality content to their students in an interactive online environment. WebAssign supports Precalculus with hundreds of problems covering every concept in the course, each containing algorithmically generated values and links directly to the ebook, providing a completely integrated online learning experience.